Another episode of Observations with Otsu. Doing a quick update for the week, and we can just go ahead and get started. As you may know, this is when I cover Bitcoin, Ethereum, ETHBTC, and a few alts in the total market cap. And like I said, I've been trying to make this short and sweet, shorter and shorter every time, more concise, however, so that way you can get the information you need. If you're new, just like, subscribe. You don't have to, would appreciate it. But let's get started. So we'll go here. Let's see, get rid of this. Let's do a plain basic chart, and we'll go to a different time frame. Actually, start with a total. Total, if I can spell it right. All right, so last week, if you tuned in, we had a big upward spike impulse that it was pretty significant. We haven't seen one, since maybe here as far as like impact. And this is up to the close. So we're about 2 hours away from the close. So we're 2 hours into the week already. And so far, so I'm not looking at this candle. So last week we had one of the biggest candles. Really since July. You could maybe make a case for one in August, one in September, but this one is pretty decent. We also got the confirmation here on the bullish A-room consolidation. So that tells me that we are going to continue our bullish momentum that we just received, but we're going to do it a little bit slower. And this is going to trip up a lot of people probably, because at these levels, this whole structure right here, we have been conditioned to think that we're just going to go to zero. Honestly, a lot of people missed out on the move last week for a lot of alts, but particularly like Ethereum, and Dogecoin that went up very, very, I think Dogecoin went up 2x, based on what I had seen, and I did cover that in last Wednesday's video. So that's something to consider as well. But we went up above here, and we stopped right below. Right below on this. No, we went above it a little bit. So this is kind of going to be interesting to see how this plays in the range. I think we might could go lower a little bit first, but we'll see. But this weekly is really good. This consolidation just started, and then the bearish trend is at 79. So we're looking at a potential 10 weeks of no lows. That's how significant this is. And the last, however, the last consolidation we did get was right here, and we continued down. However, this wasn't necessarily a true consolidation because we didn't get the bullish candle. We did here. So if you look here on this, back in January, actually, we did get that bullish consolidation confirmation with the bullish candle, and we did kind of range a little bit. If we'd probably target it here. So we had about a 25, 26% range. If you maybe got in here, you probably lost a little bit, and then you still got maybe 11. So that's something to consider. I'm still a little bullish overall. I'm a little more cautious. There's a lot of full trends that are setting up, but they haven't quite confirmed yet. So that's something to consider. Daily time frame. We had this box marked out from a week ago. I think even 2 weeks ago. So we had the down move from here, consolidation, down move, consolidation. We went up, but then we went back into this range. This could have been the whole deviation, but we jumped out of it. So as far as the market cap, I'd still want to stay above this blue, and so far we're okay. No divergence to speak of, bearish consolidation. So that's something to consider as well. We'll take these consolidations into play once we start looking at some of these coins as well, because sometimes Bitcoin takes the majority of this. Last week, I don't think so. I think altcoins had probably one of the. It was a good week for altcoins, I should say. So let's go to Bitcoin really quick. And we will go to KuCoin. And we'll get rid of some of this stuff here. Not sure why that was there, actually. Basic chart, consolidation, went above. Same thing here. So this is very similar to the total chart, and I covered that as well last week. What you want to see here is on this line that I have marked out. This is completely flush against this range. We have the deviation, tested back, went above it. We do not want to go below this area right here, at least not for too long, because this would be where I would start considering to maybe do an intraday short or a very small time frame swing play. But so far, this is looking pretty good. And what we've kind of gathered, and last week was kind of complex because Dogecoin went up so high. Some altcoins did as well, but others not so much. A lot of the ones that we would have expected to go up didn't. And what this is kind of just telling me is I don't think the market's exactly as ready as I may have thought. I think it's injecting some hope into the market, however. And that's good, and I think part of that is there's just not a lot of market interest because most of the market interest has left us ever since way up here, and so this right here is a good play in general as far as like the whole market, not just Bitcoin, but the whole market, because a lot of these coins are down 70%, 80%. I've been buying in. I'm not saying that you should, but this is how I've seen it. Aaron is telling me a story. Buy here, which I did. I did sell there. And this is my bread and butter. This is an indicator that I've done myself, so I know how it works. But this is pretty healthy so far. But let's backtrack to the weekly. Because that's what we're covering here. Had the weekly divergence. Small divergence, but it is valid. And I think I also covered this in the last video. And so we also got the bullish consolidation as well in the 70 range, low 70 range, or upper 70s, 77. So again, same play. This is very similar to the total market cap. And that's one reason I compare the two, because sometimes they are the same because Bitcoin drives the market. And even though Bitcoin didn't perform as well as some altcoins last week, it still drives the market. And got a good push up here. So this bullish consolidation, I think we will stay above. I am not looking for any new lows at this time. And I would like to see a break of 1700 before I do that. And it's just as simple as these bands here is a trend of this right here, the Aaron. If this turns blue, I think it's game on. I think we see a retest of 29,000. And I know it's a big call right now, but this is how I see it, and I just got to play by what it says. Going to 4 hour. I'm not sure what that is. So 4 hour here. We're kind of breaking down a little bit, but we're still above. We got a divergence coming up, and we'll see if this kind of rebounds Monday morning or if this breaks down. I'm personally leaning for a temporary breakdown to about 203 or yeah, 2,300, 20,300, I should say. And I have it played out right here. And if you saw my, I highly recommend you watch my video from Wednesday, because I drew this out back when it was like right here. And so this is played out perfectly so far. I'm expecting this to hit around this range actually, and then kind of consolidate and go up. And that's kind of a reaccumulation pattern. And that's what I'm looking for. Otherwise, I think we go straight down here to low 19s again. And yeah, that's the two big plays I see with Bitcoin. So other than that, I'm just kind of being chill about this and taking it one step at a time. I am very hopeful for the market, but we also got a lot of work to do. So we'll go back to the weekly, and we will cover Ethereum. Same thing here. We from last week had the jump up, had the retest. We had a good follow through, and now we're here at the breaker. So we also have a Aaron bullish consolidation, but this is weaker than it is on Bitcoin. So I'm thinking that Bitcoin might be the better longer term move for the time being. We also kind of noticing somewhat of a trend resistance. We'll see how that plays out. But other than that, these lines are pretty valid. We don't got really a lot to say too much here. We still got the AO increasing, so that's good. I'm looking for an RSI break of 50. So this is pretty healthy so far. I can see this coming back to maybe the lower 14s or the upper 13s to the lower 14s, and that's okay if it does. I still think the long-term play is going bullish. I don't see too much. I mean, we see a small divergence here. Let's see what this says. Nope. Do got kind of a little bit of a bearish div here, and we'll see how that plays. I think more needs to be looked at on lower time frames, but before I do, we have this little mini order block here, and we have this mini order block here, this impulse above this. So let's analyze this here. And so it kind of hit the mid. So this is one of those things where this is valid, but the one down here may not be. So let's go ahead and do this. So since we had an overthrow, I'll zoom in a little bit. Since we had this down move and then this overthrow up, this right here is concerning to me. That's kind of a breaker move. I discussed that in one of my videos. So therefore, I think this lower red box could be a target. So, I mean, we could see, let's just assume we go here, target the top of the range, could see something like this. And if you're a little more brave, we could, do that. Something like that. That's not precise. I don't have that planned out in this context. But that's something. And we are dropping a little bit, but it's also the weekly open. So a lot of shenanigans tend to happen first 12 to 24 hours. So that's that. If we look on the 4 hour, kind of getting the same vibe. We got this swing high order block kind of stuck in the middle. I would probably be more, if I wanted to long this, which I'm not because I've got spot from way down somewhere in the green, I'd want to wait until this came up or until this kind of consolidated enough and didn't break down. If I wanted to short, I would wait to the break of this red box right here. And that's about it with that. Let's compare the two and see how this looks. So we'll go to the weekly, and I think I had fleshed this out before. Kind of stuck in this weird little pattern. had a big up move, deviation, up move again. Kind of this meme ascending triangle kind of thing. If you look at this really big, this is like a cup and a handle as well. A little janky. Not sure I would make a cup that way, but that's a possibility. However, we do have this weekly bearish wedge, so that makes me think that we could continue lower, have price action a little bit lower in this range here. And these impulse moves are kind of not really indicative of a good trend, but that's Ethereum Bitcoin on the weekly. And let's look at the daily here. And yeah, this is not quite something I want to see here. Really, this just kind of shows like Ethereum Bitcoin, this particular pair is not really being traded as the pair. And you've seen that a lot over time. Me being in the market for so long, most people are just, when I first started crypto, people were trading the Bitcoin pairs, and now people are trading stablecoin pairs. And so the markets kind of on the Bitcoin pairs kind of reflect that by this kind of janky price action. But this is solid here so far. Had very similar breaker move here as we did on Ethereum US dollar, but no real signs of anything. This here just concerns me in general, that I'm not really looking. I'm kind of looking for the Ethereum Bitcoin pair. I look for like what the 2-week trend tends to be, and we're still bullish on that, and based on the trend is at least. And so when that's the case, I tend to want to be more in Ethereum than I am in Bitcoin. And but we also have this high bearish A-ring consolidation. So I think we're just going to get a lot of ranging. I said a lot of words for something very small. Like, we're just going to get probably some ranging on Ethereum Bitcoin. We're going to kind of battle it out back and forth. I'm personally in both, and that's kind of where I keep my position on that. I'm going to go to Binance Coin, and we'll go to Binance for that. So weekly. And so this is interesting to me here. I've noticed for a few things. One, we had the move up, and it's kind of hovering in this little no man's land. So we're kind of on resistance. And then we also kind of got like a trend here too. Another thing I've noticed is this very small bearish A-ring wedge. So when the smaller they are, the least effective they are. So this tells me that there's a good chance that the bullish trend could show up. And I think unless we get a new high soon, this is going to be bearish first. And that's something to consider. But one thing I'm also noticing is that we're above the 50 RSI. So I think this will kind of emerge. But what I'm looking for is a break above this red. Let's zoom in here. And we'll get rid of this. So we'll zoom in. So I'm looking, when I see a wedge like this, I usually hold above the line, above the bar here. So this would be somewhere around my entry. And then I would probably put my stop at one of these, at the end of these two candle wicks. But my target would be significantly high. And I'm not saying that we're going to go 2x in anytime soon. This would be a larger spot move, and that would be my intention. And so that's kind of what I was saying earlier in the video. Like, a lot of these coins look like they're going to trend bullish for the long term. But they're just not quite there yet. They're so close, so close. But that's something that I am considering. And this is the retest that you see more up close.